economy and development in Nigeria and around the world. You know that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has drawn a new timetable for the 2027 election. The election has now been shifted forward to January 16th, 2027. That is when Nigeria is going to hold the 2027 presidential election. What does this portend for the opposition in Nigeria? Who is the winner and who are the losers? Who are the winners and who are the losers in this change in the election timetable? This is important because we are at a time when the opposition is still to find its foot on ground. So who are the winners, who are the losers in the INEC timetable as structured right now? But before we tell you about the winners and the losers, before we begin to talk about the winners and the losers in the new change in the dynamics of the election 2027, which has been brought forward by the Independent National Electoral Commission, we are going to talk about the revised timetable as this is now being shadowed by the Independent National Electoral Commission. And you know that part of the things that influenced this decision was the issue of the Ramadan fast that Islamic stakeholders say that it conflicted with their religious obligation. Now, their interest has been taken care of, but at whose cost and at whose expense is one of the things we're going to look at right now. Now, for those who are not yet aware, conversant of this, what the new timetable look like, the Independent National Electoral Commission has released a revised timetable and schedule of activities for Nigeria's 2027 general election, shifting the key poll dates earlier following the repeal of the Electoral Act 2022 and the enactment of the Electoral Act 2026. Don't forget that the INEC, or the Independent National Electoral Commission, initially scheduled the presidential and national assembly election for Saturday, February 20th, 2027, and the governorship and state houses of assembly election for Saturday, March 6th, 2027. Like I said earlier on, the original schedule was rejected by Muslim stakeholders who argued that the date coincided with the Ramadan period. This prompted the Senate to amend the clause 28 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, reducing the mandatory notice period for election from 360 days to 300 days, thereby enabling INEC to change the dates. Now, the revised timetable has been published by the Independent National Electoral Commission on their X handle. So based on this revised timetable, a notice of election has been reduced to 13th of February 2026, which had already been done. Submission of political parties register for members to the commission 1st April and end 21st April 2026. Conduct of party primaries, including resolution of disputes arising from the process, must be settled latest by May 30th, 2026. the Presidential and National Assembly election, candidates' submission of forms EC9 and EC9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, and 9E online portal must be submitted between July 18th and August 8, 2026. Publication of personal particulars of candidates by the Commission, Presidential and National Assembly election 14th August 2026. Governorship and State House of Assembly latest 28th August 2026. Commencement of campaign by political parties in public. So campaign will start August 19, 2026 for presidential election, and governorship 9th of September 2026. The last day for withdrawal of candidate or replacement of withdrawn candidate by political parties, that will be by 19th of September 2026. So everything has been laid down. Publication of the final list of nominated candidates by the Commission will be made by October 2026. So this is just a breakdown of what is before us right now about the election. It has been brought forward, and this is where it gets interesting. Who is the beneficiaries, or who are the beneficiaries of this new arrangement, this new shift in date? If you ask me, the election itself should not even take place at all. I mean, opposition should not participate in it until there is an amendment to the Electoral Act to ensure mandatory transmission of the result. If the opposition, they are serious, that's what they should be doing, that they will not participate. But if they are to participate based on this arrangement, right now, as it stands, everything is in favor of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you hear me clearly? If this election is conducted based on this timetable and based on the Electoral Act that Tinubu has just signed, the opposition have already lost the election before the first ballot is cast. If this Electoral Act that Tinubu signed into law and this timetable work together, there is no way, no remedy for the opposition based on the current Electoral Act that does not support. Yeah, but I see you. Good morning. You are welcome. You are welcome. There is no hope for the opposition under this. This thing, both the bringing it forward and the Electoral Act are just in favor of Tinubu. It will be a home run for him. What you saw in the FCT election last Saturday will be what will be repeated nationwide. And Tinubu will be smiling and tell you to go to court. That is the gospel truth. That is the gospel truth. Because right now that they have brought this forward, everything is working in the favor of the opposition, in favor of the government of Tinubu. One, the APC, they already know their presidential candidate. And their presidential candidate is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So there is no doubt you either like Tinubu or you don't like him in the APC. He is their presidential candidate. You cannot say the same thing about the opposition. The opposition has been literally boxed into a corner. Now they have a very short time. By May this year, which is not far from today, they must produce a presidential candidate. And the opposition have not helped themselves. They have not helped themselves by adopting the zoning formula that would have brought clarity on the way forward. That is the truth. It is the uncomfortable truth that the opposition has to deal with, and deal with it fast if they want to participate in this election as presently constituted, based on the current INEC timetable and based on the Electoral Act 2026 that Tinubu has signed into law. Because whether you like it or not, bringing forward the election to January, it has reduced the preparation time for the opposition. It is the opposition that need to get together to understand themselves, to know where they stand, to know where they are going, and to even choose a leader for themselves. Now they have not done so. Now they have a very short window. Now, if the opposition had done what was the needful, once they found the ADC and said, this is where our presidential candidate is going to come from, it would have made their job easier. Right now, Tinubu has gotten them where he wants them, at his position of confusion, whether you like it or not. If the opposition is to participate in this election, I'm speaking based on this timetable, reverse timetable, and based on the Electoral Act that Tinubu signed into law. If the opposition are working on that and are ready to participate in the election, they are really in big trouble. Now, before I go forward, I see you. Welcome for participating, being part of this live. But we'll appreciate if you like this. Just hit the like button. Let us know that you are appreciating what we are doing here. And what we are doing here is to raise the consciousness of fellow Nigerians of the dangers ahead. The dangers ahead of the opposition, the dangers ahead of the nation as we move forward. So one of the things you can do for us is to like this YouTube live so that more people, YouTube will send it out to more people so that they know that we are discussing an important thing here, and then more people will join us. Thank you for doing that. I've seen some people that have started liking it. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. As you like this video, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. So, CJJ, we need massive citizen organization and civil society groups for election observers, especially at collection centers. Okay, CJ, you are saying that the opposition to participate under this Electoral Act, and that what is needed is CSOs to mobilize Nigerians at the polling unit and the coalition level. I don't know how that is going to work out under this Tinubu administration. But one of the things that is of benefit to the Tinubu administration is that this short time, this bringing forward the election has helped the Tinubu administration more than it helped the opposition, because the APC, like I said, they are not looking for who is their presidential candidate. So unlike the ADC that refused to zone their presidential candidate, now they are being forced that by May, which is just a few months now, they must produce a presidential candidate. Okay, and you know that from that May is when we even begin to know whether the opposition, they are serious about displacing Tinubu. CJ OJ, I see you say yes. So they must be able to make a decision. Where is our presidential candidate going to come from? Because already the APC is a settled matter. So this timetable they brought forward is not going to hurt them in any shape or form, the APC, in terms of choosing their leader. They have already chosen Tinubu. Nobody's challenging him. The only thing that is of contention in the APC right now is whether Tinubu will still want to run with Kashim Shettima, the current vice president. Are they ready to work with? Is Tinubu ready to work with him, or Tinubu is looking forward to work with another person? That is an issue. That's a debate for the APC to sort out by themselves. But that fell squarely on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the way the APC is now structured, whatever Tinubu decides, they will flow with it. If he decides to dump Shetima, they will go along with it. If he decides to go with him, they will go along with him. But of course, whichever decision he took will now be left for Nigerians to decide what to do about it ahead of the election. But like I said earlier, if the 2027 election is held under this Electoral Act that Tinubu signed into law, if that Section 63 is not adjusted for mandatory transmission of a result, for mandatory transmission of the result from polling units to the INEC array, if that's not effected, everything seems to be working. The shifting forward of the election seems to be working in favor of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC, who already know they already know their presidential candidate. They even know their governorship candidates, especially all the APC governors who are going for second term. It is a given now that many of them are going to get, all of them, they are going to get second term nomination. And already APC is controlling about over 30 states. Those who are not going for re-election for second term, the governors already have their anointed successors. So they wouldn't have much crisis in their nomination process. There's no crisis in their presidential candidate nomination in terms of Tinubu emerging. Okay, that's a given. In their state governorship primaries, they know those who are going to be their candidates already. There wouldn't be much fight. Okay, even the governors of APC, they know those who are going to be their candidates for Senate. They know how they do all these things. Governors determine who becomes senatorial candidate, who become House of Representatives candidate in their state. So the APC is a done deal. They are not, so rushing now will affect only the opposition. That is why the opposition should know that they are in an emergency situation. All this prevarication about where their presidential candidate will come from has now been brought forward for them. They have to pay the price of long prevarication. That refusal to zone their presidential ticket, this is when it's going to hurt hard. This is where it's going to hit them hard because of that insensitivity, prevarication in coming up with who is going to be or the zone that should produce their presidential candidate. And that is where the problem lies for the ADC. This is because whatsoever they do in this last minute is going to determine their future. And if you look at the timetable, you can see that after their primaries, there is a long time up to August for presidential candidates, for political parties to change their candidates. So people that lost out in the ADC can decide to move to another party and be a presidential candidate there. That is where the problem will lie, because the ADC and the opposition, they need a unified front to be able to kick out the poor performing APC that has destroyed this country in the area of insecurity, in the area of economy, in the area of poverty, in the area of unity. There is nothing to recommend them. But it is the ADC that this thing will hurt, because they have failed to be patriotic enough. But many of them were pushed by selfish interest to insist that they are going to they want to be the candidate of the party. Yeah, I saw. CJ, I saw you. You're talking about it could also be positive. I'm going to talk about how the opposition can take advantage of this situation. I'm going to talk about it, but I want the opposition to also understand the benefits that Tinubu is gonna get, and he's getting from this revised timetable. Whether we like it or not, it is in the advantage of Tinubu and the APC. Okay, because look at the reduction in preparation time. It affects the opposition more than the government in power. The government in power is already well prepared. Now, the opposition has internal crisis in their parties. In their parties, in the Labour Party, even though the Supreme Court has now seemingly settled the Supreme Court matter over the leadership of Labour Party, you never can tell with these people. This same Supreme Court can reverse themselves tomorrow if Julius Abure go there and present a different thing. So you see that the PDP is still in crisis. ADC itself is not free from crisis. So these are some of the things, the dangers the opposition are facing in this reverse timetable, the internal crisis within the opposition. And of course, you know that within this short period, the opposition, they don't have money. Let's be frank about it. They don't have money. Individually, they may be rich, some of them. Atiku may be rich. He's reputed to be very wealthy, but he cannot match the war chest of the APC. Peter Obi may be rich, but he cannot. His personal wealth is not enough to match the firepower of the APC and Tinubu. So how much can they mobilize within this short period to be able to face the APC? So that's how you begin to know that this brought forward of the election is going to hurt the opposition very well, especially if they don't come together on time to appoint a leader, rally around a leader that they are going to support. Is going to be a very big challenge to them. So it's going to also increase the cost of operations for the opposition, because the timing has been brought forward and they have to look for money at a very short time. How do they raise this money? How do they raise this money? Some are saying that they may have to look up to the Nigerians in diaspora. But Nigerians in diaspora, how much can they be able uh, to donate to support uh, the opposition in Nigeria? Now, I want to, in a short while, I want us to, we are going to look at how the opposition can take advantage of this situation and build a momentum around it and be able to shock the ruling party. But I'm saying this with reservation. Why am I saying it with reservation? If the election is held under this Electoral Act that Tinubu signed, how to defeat APC will be very difficult because the security agents, they will stand by and watch a replica, a repetition of what happened in Abuja last Saturday. Okay. He said the good thing going for ADC is the state of the economy and Tinubu's poor performance. Thank you very much. I agree with you there. It's one good thing going for them. And that is an advantage, that if they can pick the right leader, the right presidential candidate that could be able to sell this message to Nigerians, it will go a long way. Frankly, it will go a long way. It will go a long way. It will go a long. You say it doesn't matter. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you. Thank you. Thank you. Please, if you have not yet liked this YouTube live that we're doing, please like it. We appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything to like it. It's just a way of supporting the channel, what we are doing here. Thank you as you like this YouTube live. Now, how can the opposition take advantage of this? The opposition should begin to talk about unity. They need unity more than ever before. The opposition need unity more than ever before. As I talk to you now, there should be emergency meetings between the opposition parties and the opposition leaders. What is the way forward? Because right now, INEC has literally boxed them in a corner. Okay. And the timeline is not in their favor. This is the time they need unity more than ever before. If they are determined that Nigerians have had enough of the APC. So that is one thing that the opposition need right now. This is not a time for any opposition leader to be a lone striker. You must work as a team. They must work as a team. They must have what we call grand alliance. This is no time to disregard any party. It is the time for all the opposition parties to come together to form grand alliance. And that is what is needed. Grand alliance that will bring together all the opposition voices. And if you understand President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's politics, he's going to make sure that the opposition is as divided as ever. So the opposition leaders should also be wary of the moles that the Tinubu administration are going to send in to disorganize them, to create bad blood and all that. But like I said earlier on, one of the things opposition can do for itself is to come out now, begin to give hints on who is going to be their presidential candidate. We know that these early primaries, they don't have any choice anymore. Whether they like it or not, they must produce a presidential candidate in May 2026. If they are serious, they must produce a presidential candidate between April and May 2026. And that is not a small responsibility. It is something they should have solved ab initio once they went public that ADC is their party to challenge the APC in the 2027 election. Now, it means with the small window available for the ADC, the opposition, it means that they need funding, and their funding is not going to be coming from the government. Okay? CJOJ said there's no time to challenge the elector. No, there is time. I disagree with you, sir. There is time. There is time. And it has to be done fast. All what was needed is, let me tell you something. If Tinubu is in the position of opposition today, Tinubu will not participate in this election. If Tinubu is Peter Obi, if Tinubu is Atiku Abubakar today, under the present scenario, Tinubu will lead the campaign of the boycott of the election until there is an amendment to the Electoral Act. Amendment to the Electoral Act, if you call Akpabio, you see, let me give you an example, CJ, my brother. Look, if Donald Trump pick his phone call today and call Tinubu, that I hear that people are crying that there is fear of rigging of the election, and they say that they want electronic transmission of result in real time. Before Donald Trump will drop the phone, Tinubu will order Akpabio, and they will come immediately. They will reconvene. Before you know it, within an hour, they will enshrine it into the Constitution, and the years will carry it. So, my brother, don't let them not deceive anybody that there is no time. There is time. Like they used to say, the same Oyibo that made pencil also made eraser. That's the cock and bull story they want to tell. If the opposition believe that, then they are not serious. They are not serious. They are not serious. Even if it is the Constitution that gives that made it late, that constitutional amendment will be made to accommodate it. If the opposition parties are able to get through to Trump and let him understand the danger to our democracy of conducting this election without the electronic transmission of the result in real time. Okay? Oh, okay. CJ, you are a lady, my sister. Thank you very much. Sorry. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So basically, there is time. There is time to amend the Electoral Act to capture everyone, to capture any changes. I can tell you for free, if Tinubu wants anything to be added to the Electoral Act, they will still add it. So that is one thing that needs to be taken care of. That's amendment to the Electoral Act. Because when I look at what happened in FCT, when I look at what the security agencies can do, it's difficult for me to believe that if the opposition participates in this election under the present climate, that they will do anything different. Okay? Because whether we like it or not, the whole system is in favor of Tinubu and the APC, including INEC, including security agencies. So, but the only, you can call it the silver bullet, is that Section 63 of the Electoral Act. It needs to be taken care of. At least that is the only hope left, because there is no hope in security agencies that they will do anything when they see bad thing happening to the opposition. There's no proof now that INEC will do anything that will not favor the ruling party. Okay? Now, I want to talk about funding. This short window is going to reduce the amount of money that will be available for the opposition. And the opposition, they are not going to rely on government. So how do you raise fund now as opposition? You can only raise fund as an opposition now by nominating a very popular and grassroots presidential candidate. It means you have to nominate a presidential candidate that will be mass driven, who people will look up to and are ready to donate their last kobo for that person to be the president of Nigeria. So you need grassroots mobilization. Look at what the APC did in the opposition with Buhari. APC raised tons of money online using Buhari, and what a huge amount of money they made, they were able to garner. Okay? Ordinary people in the street, because they trusted Buhari at that time, particularly in northern Nigeria, were giving their last kobo to contribute to the APC. And this was an APC that also had some governors. Don't forget, at that time, people like Rabi Musa Kwankwaso had defected from the PDP to APC. Rotimi Chibika Mechi has defected from the PDP to APC. They are known as the G5 governors also, or the new PDP. They defected. And these people, they had some state funds too. So as the PDP government at that time had war chest of governors, state governors, APC had governors that had war chest from Lagos, from River State, and all that. Now the ADC is in a far more difficult situation. There is no single governor. No single governor has defected to the APC, to the ADC, to be able to add to their war chest. None. Whereas in the APC as an opposition coalition ahead of 2015, they had governors from rich states, if you like, Kanu, Kwankwaso. They had Amechi, River State. You know what it means? Okay? Then they had Lagos State governor. And there were other governors of the APC who were formerly part of the ACN. Okay? They were there. They were there. They had some of them from the north. The CPC governor from Nasarawa was there. That's Alhaji Al-Makura. Then there were governors of AMPP from Borno, I think from Yobe and all that. So there was a kind of financial enablement that they had at that time. Now look at the APC, the ADC. Not even Atiku Abubakar could get his governor to come with him. He didn't enter ADC with any sitting governor or sitting senator or sitting House of Reps. It was only Peter Obi that was able to defect with senators and governors and state House of Assembly members. And if you look at it, who is there in APC that could be able to mobilize grassroots funding? And that is where this thing gets interesting. The only person I can see there that they can give their tickets, it will galvanize the whole of Nigeria. And people will see that Nigeria really want a change. Is if ADC can nominate Peter Obi as their presidential candidate. Now, if you nominate Peter Obi as the presidential candidate of ADC, you have solved two great challenges. One, you have accepted that the power should remain in the South for the next 4 years, in line with the power shift arrangement between North and South. It means that after 8 years of Buhari, we are also having 8 years of Tinubu and Peter Obi completing the cycle. The northern candidates like Atiku Abubakar is the only northern candidate that has shown his hand. We know that, yes, CJOJ, yeah, I've seen it. He said this all depends on Atiku. Exactly, a whole lot depends on Atiku. A whole lot depends on Atiku. Because whether we like it or not, if Atiku doesn't step down and the primaries goes the way that they conduct primaries in Nigeria and Atiku picks the ticket, I don't see people. It's difficult for me to see grassroots people that will be able to fund Atiku to donate their last card to Atiku Abubakar. It will be difficult for that to happen. Atiku doesn't have that organic support that Buhari enjoyed for decades in the North. He does not. I know that the economy is bad. I know that things are difficult. I know the insecurity is getting worse. But I doubt if we can be able to make Atiku be able to raise the fund from the grassroots that is necessary to challenge the APC. That is true. It is. I don't know how that is going to happen, but I don't see it happening. Atiku doesn't have that organic support that Buhari used to enjoy, and which Kwankwaso is enjoying to a limited extent. Okay, I don't see that happening. And if Atiku may be rich, okay, you say, wouldn't Tinubu win if citizens or opposition boycott the election? No. If citizens boycott the election and the international community is aware of the reason why they are boycotting the election, that they don't have faith in the transparency of the election, Tinubu will win. He will be declared a winner, but he will be walking with one leg, knowing fully well that he doesn't have the mandate of the Nigerian people. Nobody has lasted long after being declared winner of a boycotted election. No. That is the only leverage the opposition have right now, is to boycott the election unless they are guaranteed of transparency. Okay? That is it. They will declare him the winner. Even right now, what they are waiting for is just to crown him. If this election is conducted under this arrangement, if this election is conducted under this Electoral Act and under this new timetable arrangement, I can tell you for free, Tinubu will be declared winner before noon on election day. And the only thing they will say is that those who are not happy with the result should go to court. And you and I know how the court is in Nigeria today. When they tell you go to court, it means they are telling you go and waste your resources there because you are not going to get any justice. So the opposition, they can raise money. The Nigerian people will be ready to donate their widow's mite if they are sure that whoever is going to succeed Tinubu is going to do better, is somebody that can do better, somebody that will be a different faith, a different face, a different action. Okay? A situation where you have somebody like Atiku Abubakar. Let me also point out, there is an allegation that even Atiku, with all his war chest, in 2023, before the 2023 election, the governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, was alleged to have contributed so much money to the campaign. Now, Atiku Abubakar is not in a position to have anybody like Okowa, who was the governor of an oil-rich Delta State. That's why people should be careful the choices they are going to make in the ADC primary. And also, it was alleged, you can go and fact check it in online, that Atiku Abubakar's son, Abba, was alleged to be the one that was collecting the money from the former Delta State governor. And this issue is said to be part of EFCC case. And that same young man, Abba, Atiku Abubakar, do you know what he has done? He has joined the APC. And he has said that by joining the APC, he said they are working for Tinubu, that Tinubu is doing a good job. How do you even nominate a presidential candidate whose son is working? He said that his father is not good enough. Even when the father was dismissing that he has a right to join any party he likes, that's democracy in action. No, it raises a lot of suspicion. There are people that are alleging that his joining the APC is in line with what Adams Oshomole was quoted to have said, that no matter your sins, if you join APC, your sins are forgiven. So if you have alleged anti-corruption case, it will be forgiven. So the father might have been keeping quiet because the young man has taken a strategic move to join APC so that they can allow him to rest. That tells a lot. As I talk to you now, nobody talks about Okowa's case again in the EFCC. Remember, when Okowa was trending, the former governor of Delta State is no longer trending. So many things are going on that ordinarily, if the opposition are serious, if they can extricate themselves from sentiments and other biases, they ought to know by now that Peter Obi is the candidate they should be working for now, so that his name will continue to reverberate across the country. There is no time under this arrangement Under this arrangement, it favors Tinubu, it favors APC. But how you take advantage of it is for the opposition to anoint their leader now. To anoint their leader now. There is no time for prevarication. There is even no time to wait until May, June. No time. APC has all the time in the world. Look at the structures that Tinubu has already put on ground. As I talk to you now, the APC have trained irats, people they call irats, those who go on social media insulting everybody. They have recruited 300 per state and trained them on social media. I'm telling you this. You can fact check me. Erufai said that billions were budgeted for that project. And they did it since last year. That's why if you come to social media space today, there is no space for the opposition. Because people are already being paid by the APC to insult any opposition leader, to attack anything against Tinubu and all that. It wasn't like this before 2023 election. So the opposition need to wake up from their slumber. These guys are strategic and they are well prepared. They trained 300 per state. Sokoto State 300, Borno 300. They did a workshop for them in Abuja last year. And the way they covered it up, they said that these people are being trained. They are being trained to advertise, to publicize the renewed hope agenda, the achievements of Tinubu based on the renewed hope agenda. That was what the training is all about, what we are told. But that is beyond, it goes beyond that. It is to be the attack dog of the APC. So these guys are far ahead. Imagine they have 300 from each state. And that's how they are all over the social media. And they are being paid, whether by their state government or by the federal government. We don't know. But they had a workshop. Erufai, God bless him. He was the person that gave the lowdown of the amount that was budgeted for that. So it is for the opposition to know what is about to hit them. So these people are well, Tinubu is well prepared since last year, mid last year, to be frank. That's when they arranged these guys. Now, he has set up the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. He has set up Renewed Hope Ambassadors headed by Hope Uzodinma as the Director General, Governor Sani of Kaduna State as the Deputy Director General. And they are in charge of the World Development Program. And they are now distributing forms. And in that form, you write your account number, you write your everything, details. They say they want to impact, they say they want to, Ikauzo, I've seen you there. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. So this World Development Program that is being headed by Hope Uzodinma, the forms they are distributed is alleged to contain options for people to put their account numbers, NIN number, and all kinds of data. If you don't know what that portends in an election in which the APC has perfected the act of vote buying, then you don't understand what is about to hit this country. Henry, I see you. Henry, I see you. So it's important that that the opposition understand that Tinubu is well prepared already. This sudden shift, he's just laughing. He's just smiling. because they have been prepared for so long. Have you asked yourself the rapidity with which southern governors in the opposition were just jumping into the APC ship? You think it's for nothing. It was planned. But whatever may be the case, if you say you must hand it to OJ, yes, I see it. Yeah, it's true. You give it to he had been strategic. But that his strategy, he also applied, can call it an evil genius, because he has also put the opposition in a situation that they are in perpetual crisis. Whether that will be accepted as a democratic process is a different ballgame. But you look at his what he has done, and nobody called him to order. Nobody told him that campaign has not started, but he has started putting campaign structure. INEC didn't accuse him of violation of the Electoral Act when he started putting all these things in place, including the Renewed Hope agenda, the Renewed Hope ambassadors. Because those structure he was talking about in the 774 local government that they are now using was a campaign, and the appointment was coming directly from the presidential villa, so it wasn't in doubt. I agree with you, OJ. Yeah, Obi is the answer. Atiku must accept that. If he doesn't accept that, sorry, it means that Tinubu will just have four more years. That's likely to happen, because whether we like it or not, the idea that Atiku will be a better successor to Tinubu is like a difference between 6 and half a dozen. Look, Atiku Abubakar is going to be 81. He's going to be 81 by 2027. Ordinarily, if he says chief, if he says an appointee for Supreme Court, he would have his valedictory ceremony would have been held a long time ago. Okay, so moving from Tinubu, who is in his late 70s, but alleged to be even in his late 80s, and then with Atiku replacing, it doesn't really make much difference. So you can't galvanize Nigerians that this man won't be any different from Tinubu. The only hope, the only solution is for the opposition to rally around Peter Obi. Let them begin to project him as the face of their party. All this prevarication and all this idea of keeping everybody in suspense, they're only keeping themselves in the doldrums. Nigerians are no longer buying into the suspense. It is left now for the opposition to take advantage of this short window and hit a home run by projecting and nominating Peter Obi as their presidential candidate. Anything short of that, no matter how you see the economy is bad, no matter how you see the level of killing is unprecedented, it is going to be difficult to sell Atiku as a substitute for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This thing, we should know it. The opposition, they have been given a window to do the right thing. But if they think that they will do the same old trick of the PDP, whereby Atiku will be announced as the winner of the primaries, and then Nigerians will rally around him, then they don't understand the dynamics of Nigerian politics today. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being. Well, yeah, will we have time to return to the Labour? If the Labour Party, yes, he has time, because if you look at the window, the Labour Party, their presidential candidate can drop for Peter Obi if Peter Obi did not get the ADC. There is a time for political parties to change their presidential candidate. So Peter Obi, if they mess him up in the ADC and there is opportunity for him in ADC or any other party for that matter, he can return to that party. So thank you for being part of this live, and coming to the end of this live is not the end of the discussion. That's why we have the comment section, so that we want to hear from you. Keep on telling us whatsoever is your position on the future of the opposition as the election has been brought forward because of the issue of confliction of time with the 2027 Ramadan fast. Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. And if you have not liked this video, please, as we're coming to the end of this, keep on liking it, keep on sharing it, so that Nigerians should know what is about to unfold in our nation and what they can do to save the country from going the abyss because of the way their APC has done politics in Nigeria, where free and fair election is being sabotaged by the National Assembly that failed to do the needful. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.